Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
So we have a lot of new things happening for this series. One, we've got a new guest, part of the club, that has not been on any of the podcast recordings. So Micah, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And of course, just like everyone else, we have to christen your experience with 4 bottles. So 4 recordings in one day.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Rite of passage.
Rite of passage.
And it's all scotches.
All
that we're going to be doing. Some blended, some single malt, some single grain, some finish, some
We're
nuts.
just going to have some fun with it.
We are. Yeah. It's November, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Chris is going to try to figure out how to pair or what to pair with all of these.
Yeah, like I was just saying, it's always so tough pairing pipe tobacco with scotches, I find. Because you either kind of like try to one-up it like with the smoke, or you try to find something that plays along with it, or contrasting is tough. So we're going to just have fun with it.
And our first one is Monkey Shoulder. So this one is like the go-to. This is what a lot of people say. Like, I don't really like Scotch too much, but I don't mind this one. Like, this is a good intro bottle. And if you look at their website and stuff, they're really talking a lot about mixing and doing stuff with this. So, like, they're not real picky about drinking it straight. I've never had it before, so I'm excited to try it.
I haven't either.
So we've never done this on the podcast.
No.
But have we talked about it?
I'm sure it's been brought up, but not in depth.
Because this, believe it or not, was my, Nick will tell you, this was my gateway, bridge, introduction, whatever you want to call it, to Scotch. Because I was drinking, we started to drink Scotch a little bit, me and Nick. And Nick was drinking some hardcore stuff. And so here's where I was. He poured me some Lagavulin 16, and I got maybe like 3 sips in, and I finally was like, I'm just done. Like, yeah. I'm done with it. And like, I gave it up. Like, I didn't finish it with it, which anybody like that likes that stuff is like, what?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Right.
Sacrilege.
So I was to a point where I really, really, and I remember saying this to you, Nick, I was like, I don't like Scotch, period. Like, that's just what it is. And now, like, I love Scotch, like the harder, the better. So this bottle is what I remember that I found it and we tried it and I said, oh, I can get in with this. And then next thing you know, it was the gateway.
It's so funny to me because up until this bottle, I don't know how new or recent it is, but up until this bottle really showing up in the US, Johnny Walker was the start. Johnny Walker was your like starter Scotch.
A blended as well.
Blended, yeah. And then this guy came on the market and every bourbon drinker was like, this is fantastic bourbon. This is great bourbon. And I was like, it's not
a bourbon.
It's not a bourbon, buddy. And they couldn't believe it. They're like, what do you mean that's not a bourbon? That drinks like a bourbon. So it'll be interesting to see because Micah, you're not a big Scotch guy.
Not a Scotch guy.
It's got some smoke, but you'll be surprised. Yeah.
But I'm excited to be pleasantly surprised.
Right. Yeah. So, see if it's good or not.
Or unpleasantly, depending on how it goes,
Right. So to pair with it, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is something different. I'm just going to do, and I'm not sure how it's going to go because I've never tried this tobacco. It's one that's been sitting on the shelf like a lot of these have. This one's only got 5 years of age on it. So still a good amount of age, but it's Cross-Eyed Cricket by Cornell and Diehl. I picked this one up without knowing if I'd ever like it or not, but the description is it's got a base of unsweetened black Cavendish, which is interesting, unsweetened black Cavendish. And then it's got Turkish, Latakia, and Perique. So it's kind of like a hybrid English with, like with the Cavendish, but then it says it's enclosed in a light rum punch flavor. English, aromatic, ? You take your pick. So it's kind of like that English crossover. So we're going to give it a try and see.
See how it goes.
I have no idea how it's going to go, but I know that some people really, really like this, but I've never had it.
Nice. You said it's called Cross-Eyed Cricket?
Cross-Eyed Cricket. And, we were talking about the labels that one time. Look at the label on that one. Isn't that cool? It's got like a farmer cricket, and he's like smoking a pipe, and he's clearly like cross-eyed. Like maybe a little too, they kept it in the family. For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe a little too much. So yeah, we'll give it a try. It's still 5 years of age.
And Micah, you do smoke pipes on occasion.
Yep.
But not very often. Lately what we've been trying is Chris over here has bought more than he can smoke. So they've been just sitting there, and he cellars them, so they're unopened. And so that was, you said,
they get better
5
with
years.
age. Yeah.
And so 5 years it's been sitting on a shelf.
Oh, meaning at your house?
Yeah, at your house.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it had been aged and you bought it.
No.
aged.
No.
No.
Oh,
I bought it
wow.
5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And aged it
That's
myself.
awesome.
We've had a lot on the podcast that have been even
7 or 8,
9, 10
years
yeah.
old.
Just depends. But that's part of the tobacco thing is when you buy something and you wait, because unlike whiskey and stuff, it actually does age in the tin
Oh,
the same way
okay.
that whiskey ages in a barrel.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I'm the nose guy apparently for pipe tobacco because I love the smell. I can't do the smoke. But this guy, I'm excited to see what it smells like once you guys start smoking it, because this reminds me of a barbecue. This is like my smoker at home kind of smell. And I like a good mesquite wood almost, or like hickory.
But it's sweet. It's
Yes,
not-
there's
and it's
a
not, like,
sweetness to it that
overly-
it's like, that's thrown me off a bit of like, what kind of wood would it be? But it reminds me of that like hickory, that stronger hickory or mesquite wood, but with some sweetness added into it.
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of which, have you guys ever heard of pecan wood being used for smoking?
Pecan wood? Yeah.
Pecan or pecan? Which
Pecan.
one on
It's,
this set?
it's pecan.
Pecan wood, yeah.
I'm on the okay,
Or
Micah.
pecan.
Clearly, we have a few different pecan
we're
or
talking,
pecan.
yeah, we're talking November, so we are. I mean, we're dealing in the month of pecan or
Might as
pecan.
well figure it out.
Which one are you?
Well, wait. What did you say?
Pecan.
That's what I said. So, well,
Pecan?
maybe it's an Indiana thing. Northern
pecan.
Indiana
Pecan pie or pecan pie.
or pecan.
Pecan pie.
Pecan.
But pecan is pecan, and then there's pecan, which is what Steve said.
That's what I say. I say pecan pie.
It's like the same people that say pecan say Italian.
Italian. I do say Italian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Makes way
Figured
more
it
sense
out.
now.
I say Italian sometimes, but usually it's Italian.
It's either Italian or Italian.
Italian. That's the Olive Garden Italian. Italian.
Here, I'm gonna throw it. What's the Olive Garden? Oh, nice
Ooh,
catch!
wow,
On
right
the
on the
top of the
mic.
microphone. I didn't expect to hit the top of the microphone.
Yeah. Or he just thunk and then right in the eye.
First time we've done that though since we started throwing the tins.
But yeah, so I found pecan, however you want to say it, wood to smoke with that I've never used before. Did it yesterday for the first time. Fantastic.
You liked it, huh?
What'd you smoke? What'd you
So I did a pork butt. So I smoked a pork butt, and then while that was smoking, decided, hey, I was gonna throw some brats and chicken on for lunch. So
Genius.
yeah, it was fantastic.
I was gonna say
Just
that's
let it
some
sit
good
there and smoke.
proteins. Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, but it's like a lighter smoke. Like, it is probably Mary's favorite so far, because the smoker I did it on was the big intense one, which she doesn't love. But now we found a little bit more tamer wood for her to somewhat more enjoy it. I think it would go great for like turkey, like a Thanksgiving turkey with that wood would be fantastic. That and cherry.
Are you gonna do that this year for your turkey?
So each year for the club so far, we've done turkey. Or the last 2 years, maybe 2 or 3, we've done turkey, and they've been smoked turkeys.
Okay.
So this year we did a mix of applewood and cherrywood, and that was fantastic. And then for our family, Chris and I's family Thanksgiving, I did straight cherrywood, and it was wonderful. The cherrywood is definitely gives off a red hue to the point where some thought it was burnt on the outside, and it wasn't burnt. It was just really red. It was a dark amber
Yeah.
red,
It was, wasn't it?
but it was tasty. It was real good.
Gosh, that was almost a year ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Dude, was it last year that we had that turkey at Ryan's?
Yeah, we do that.
That was really good.
So that was apple and cherrywood, a blend of that.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember because I think of it at your house, but then you mentioned Ryan. I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, that was an amazing
It's
meal.
funny because so every guy in the club kind of picks their month. They kind of have one month they pick. Chris is always October. No matter what the bottle is, he's like, I'll take October. Ryan normally always lands on November for Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know why, but it seems to land on his like choosing is November.
Well, is that with him being a school teacher? I wonder if he has that week
You
off.
might have that, yeah, because that was probably pretty close to Thanksgiving itself. So
I feel like mine is always summer. We're out on the deck, like playing. People are playing cards or hanging out. Yeah,
Well, you got a nice deck.
you do.
Yeah.
It's a big deck.
yeah. That's what she said. It's a little old, but it gets the job done.
Little old, little creaky, but still hard enough to to just, support the things it needs to.
But Steve, how long has this company been around? Sorry, going back to Monkey Shoulder.
Yeah.
Jumping right back in.
2003 is when Monkey Shoulder came out.
2003?
2003. But it's owned by William Grant and Co., who owns like everything, or a whole bunch of scotches and stuff.
Why does that name sound so familiar? It's
Well-
not Johnny Walker doesn't own not owned by William Grant.
They are not, but a lot of other things are. They're the third largest producer of scotch. So they have a lot.
third
Hendrix, they own Hendrix Gin. So that's a weird one. Tullamore Dew, which they bought in 2010 for like 171 million euro.
Sorry, Tullamore Dew?
Yeah.
You have to follow up with Euro.
Tullamore Dew was bought for that much?
They bought it with some other stuff, but they sold everything else. And so in the end, it ended up being like 171 million for just Tullamore Dew.
Chris, do you hear Tullamore Dew and think that popular? Like worth that
they
price
do
tag?
other things, like that Three Swallows and whatnot. Isn't that Tullamore Dew?
Yeah, that's their own thing. It used to be, I thought it's an Irish, but yeah.
Very basic. Like
Yeah,
they
it's
came
a
out with jugs.
Yeah. They have the cool handled jug.
The Crocs.
Yeah, the Crocs.
But I feel like they probably do more than what you're thinking.
Maybe.
But also, Euro is not dollar.
But it's
No,
more.
but it's pretty.
more.
It's
Yeah.
relatively similar
really?
though.
Well, that is a
so-
lot of money.
Yeah. It's probably like 150 million or something instead of 171 million. Yeah.
Still a lot.
And so it's still a lot. Yeah.
More than I'll ever have.
I didn't think it was that much.
Yeah. They also own Drambuie and Famous Grouse and Naked Malt. They bought those. They just bought those ones in 2025, just like in July, just a few months, just like 4 or 5 months ago.
That's fascinating. I wonder if Famous Grouse is changing. The rumor with Famous Grouse has always been that they pull the remaining leftovers from Johnny Walker.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a really cheap bottle, Scotch bottle, for the quality you get. That was always the rumor. But if they bought them out,
Yeah.
I wonder if
we never verified that, but that's what we thought.
Yeah.
They do have a bourbon now, so they do have an American bourbon, and it's Fistful of Bourbon.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, Micah, you've never had it?
No.
You don't ever need it.
Okay. So wait, so this is a bourbon that they do in Scotland?
no, the company that owns it just happens. It's a Scottish company,
Got it.
but they have now bought an American bourbon.
You know what? That kind of makes. Well, they bought it. They didn't start it.
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I take that back. I think they did start it.
Okay,
They-
it makes sense
yeah.
why it's so terrible then.
But there's plenty of people that buy that, the unwitting. Here's the thing. What's funny is the same people that are really going to town for Tullamore Dew are the same ones that are buying Fistful of Bourbon. I mean, it's very gimmicky. It's very marketing.
It is very
And Tullamore Dew does great. I would like to see their sales just in the month of March. Probably astronomical.
Because they're the ones that really go after like the do and the brew, like partnering.
well, all the St. Patrick's
Right.
Day stuff, right? Because sure, it's Jameson's and stuff, but I think even Tullamore Dew might overdo the Jamesons because they push it so hard.
They do push it good. Yeah. William Grant, though, their company started in 1887. So they've been around for a while. Because Scotch, of course, it started that far back. But Grant, and I heard the name, and it's a Scottish name, so like it's a pretty popular one. But if you watch Outlander at all, or have read the books of
I've
Outlander,
never seen it. Isn't that a romance thing?
it is a little bit, but it's a pretty good one. Like there's good action, there's good
I need to
stuff
see. I've
with
seen
it.
I've seen it.
Highlander.
I have not
I've
seen any. Let me correct.
Highlander, but not
I watch it with my
Outlander.
wife.
let me correct. I've never seen Outlander. I am reading the books, and I like them. They are romancy.
Which one would be more?
But-
Which one should you be more embarrassed about, though? Watching or reading?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would say watching.
I mean,
Is that coming from someone that watches?
Oh my gosh.
If you-
Yeah.
so I'm not going to get into why, but the first season of Outlander, probably watching. Later
So
on, it changes.
It was
but
the first season
beginning,
of Outlander
yeah.
that in one particular episode that I was like, okay, I can't watch this anymore. And we stopped for a couple of
It
years.
gets relatively sexual.
Not even just relatively, it is overt.
The first season in particular has a lot of crazy stuff
Is
going
it
on.
Game of Thrones where it's like mostly dudes?
Yes. No.
Well, there is a line of the storyline with some homosexuality. So there is some of that, but it's also a little bit rapey. So it's
Not even a little
it gets
bit.
it gets
No.
weird. But that character dies after the first book.
He gets his comeuppance,
and so after that, it no longer that part of it goes away.
One of our friends who watched this before us and recommended it, after I was like, I'm not watching this anymore, she said, if you just push past that episode, then it actually, continues to get better and better. And I was like, very doubtful, but it does.
Yeah. So I'm reading the books, and I'm on like the 4th book out of like 10 or something. And now they're in the US. So now they've transferred over and stuff. And so it's a good series book wise, TV show wise. Don't know, but I would like to watch it. Just haven't yet. But anyway, it all starts with the Battle of Culloden, which is during the Jacobite rebellion. So in Scotland, in the 1760s or so, Bonnie Prince Stuart is like a former Stuart family, used to be the monarch, and now he's trying to become the monarch again. So he's trying to overthrow the English monarchy and take over. So, and he got the Scots behind him. To do that, he lost. It all ended with the Battle of Culloden. And the founder of this, he was in that battle and survived, fighting as a Jacobite, as the losing side. But he was able to escape and all that kind of stuff. So yes, he was in the Jacobite rebellion and then started making Scotch. So
yeah, he had to drown away the sorrows.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Needed to,
had to find a way.
But and so now they're the 3rd largest producer of Scotch. They also, the big names that they started with is Glenfiddich, and then Belvini. Those are the top 2. Those are what they started. And then since then, they've added on a whole bunch more.
Maybe that's why we're going to, because they still own those.
They still own those. That's still their main flagship. Yeah.
Belvini's some good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This bottle, though, Monkey Shoulder, came out in 2003. And they came out and they started talking about something called a blended malt whiskey. A blended malt whiskey is what they call themselves. And that's what's on the label there. The difference, though, a blended Scotch, not including the word malt, can include just neutral grain spirits. A blended malt Scotch cannot. So this came out, and they were kind of a middle ground between like a cheap blended Scotch and a single malt. So they kind of came out saying, we're better than that. We don't have any of the natural grain spirits. And they separated out this separate section of blended malt Scotch. And that does not include the neutral grain spirits.
Neutral grain spirit.
Yeah, or at least can't.
A blended Scotch can contain neutral grain spirit in the way.
Doesn't have to, but could.
Has the ability to.
Yes.
In the same way that like a whiskey, not a bourbon, can. Well, how about them apples?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
That's some BS right there.
Right.
So, but how many companies actually do that?
Well, I don't know, but the fact that it could happen,
that they separate it out,
and do they put that on the bottle? Because what is it JTS Brown? That's technically the 80 proof. Is it technically a neutral grain? It has some neutral grain added. No, which one is it? I'm thinking of. There's one
Kessler's?
of those. No. No, you'd be surprised. It's not I don't think it's JTS Brown. There's one of them that's actually pretty good. Okay, well, for lack of another one, Kentucky Tavern is one of those.
Okay.
Where it technically has some neutral grain spirits in it, along with coloring and whatever else to make it look like a foolproof whiskey.
Right.
And it's not. And deceiving. But so a blended malt Scotch is still not a single malt, but that one would be all whiskey.
That one is all whiskey, does not include.
So that is actually something to kind of
that's something to watch out for, maybe.
Watch out for.
And I'd be curious if like Johnny Walker says on there blended malt, or if it just says blended Scotch. Not saying they do or don't, but that's the most well-known blended Scotch.
Well, and I could see Famous Grouse is so dang cheap. I could almost see them, like their lower offerings, potentially having some
neutral grain.
And
I don't think that they would have blended
or J&B on there. You see what I'm saying? And J&B is good. It's not bad. It's not great, but I could see that maybe having. I never would have thought that, but it kind of makes sense now.
It makes sense why it'd be so cheap too. Because you're not using as much Scotch, like a much whiskey in it.
Fits, and then it's counterfeit. When you use neutral grain spirits, you're counterfeiting. It's really what you're doing. So you're saying that Monkey Shoulder
does not include. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they came out with this, and they're one of the first ones to do that.
They took a
stance, kind of create that separation,
which is good for something that's this cheap. I mean, you don't usually get something this cheap for this good.
Which would make sense why they would do that then. Why they would try to separate themselves to say we're inexpensive, but we're not cheap.
Yeah, because you might have people try this and say it's good, it's cheap, must be neutral grain. Must be. You know what I mean?
Go ahead and have some.
Has he been waiting? Have you been waiting? Mikey, you just gotta drink it.
up.
Drink it.
No, I was
And
waiting.
if you want more, we pour more.
Yeah, we'll gladly pour more.
Again, not a Scotch guy.
Yeah.
So I probably won't.
We'll surprise you today.
Yeah.
The more you drink, the more you might like it.
That is very true. Yeah.
we got 4 of these to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe 5.
Maybe.
You never know. Hey, just keep on going.
crazy. So this is my first time having monkey shoulder. And I think it's pretty good. Like in terms of, I could see how it would be good for like mixing or whatever. Because I could see how maybe it could use some extra, use something else with it. And I also see why people might think it's a bourbon. Because it's kind of caramely or,
It's sweet.
It's sweet. Yeah.
For Scotch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
non-finished Scotch.
Right. Yeah. No smoke or anything like that. No smoke, no peat. That kind of stuff is not really there. It's a Speyside. So it's from the Speyside region. So it is that fruity kind of.
It's got little wisps of this. Like it's got enough to be like that's campfire-esque. Like enough to be like that's a Scotch. I think if you know what you're doing, but
I was gonna say if you're a Scotch drinker, this is one you pick up and be like, yes, this is a Scotch.
it's
a Scotch,
so
yeah.
light that people I think can mistake it for oak. Does that make sense? Instead of like the smoky wood, it's just wood for a lot of people. But I mean, you got to think about somebody who's really not a Scotch guy that may want to dip his toes. This is kind of that pool that you want to dip your toes into. Because for me, this was something I could, again, it wasn't my favorite, but it was like a Scotch that I could drink, right? Because I think that there's part of people that want to be able to drink a Scotch too, that just can't stand it. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, is this one that it was like bearable? Like you had to force yourself?
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Lagavulin, I was forcing myself, right? But I remember saying like at one point, like I just, like there's times where you need to drink a Scotch as a man. You know what I mean? And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You're kind of stuck. You know what I mean? But this is one that maybe you could, I don't want to say muster through, but you could be like, you could pass it, right? And then the more and more you drink it, maybe the more you like it, and then you start branching off. You know what I mean? Like if I said we had to drink Scotch, Micah, and you're not a Scotch guy, but we have to drink Scotch tonight. Would you want this or would you want something else that you've tried? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I took a sip too, actually. And my first thought was, if I had not known this was a Scotch, I would have assumed it was a whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have assumed that it was a bourbon though, which was strange. And then like the long finish at the end definitely was fruity, which that was strange to me. I see this stuff on the shelf at the grocery store like all the time. It's just always there or whatever. I've never thought to pick it up. I always actually thought it was a bourbon.
So there you go.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, this could, I could see how people, again, like you said, Steve, mix it, but this is like one of those everyday drinkers for, somebody who's into Scotch. So
You are not into Scotch, but what is your thoughts on it? Is it okay? Is it not
is.
good? Okay.
So I don't know that I would, what's the price point?
$30.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe I pick it up and it would be like, kind of one of those drinkers. I feel like a Friday night in the fall or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting out on the big deck and you're taking sips straight. I would do, or sorry, neat.
Neat, yeah.
And
You said deck and then you had to say straight.
Right.
But I think for Scotch that you could drink neat for $30. I mean, there's a lot worse you could do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's also great. This is one of those, if you're a Scotch drinker. So for me, I was a big Lagavulin guy. That was the thing I tried to get Chris into right away, and that did not go well. But if I saw this on a shelf of like, hey, this is my Scotch, I'm not going to be offended. I'd be like, yep, go ahead and pour that for me. Like, I'm a Scotch drinker. I know what it is, and it's good. For what it is, it's good, and I'm not going to be offended if you pour that for me. You know what I mean?
So here's a weird question. So how long ago was it that you introduced Lagavulin to Chris?
Oh, before the club. Even this would have been
16?
Maybe 2015, 2016? Yeah.
15, 16.
Okay, so it's been 9.
We were into
8, 9
Wardy
years.
bourbon. I was a big bourbon guy. What's funny is I was the bourbon guy and Nick was not. And Nick was a Scotch guy and I was not. And I kind of pulled Nick into the bourbon and then he pulled me into the Scotch. So we kind of have similar stories with that, just vice versa.
Which is hilarious because so in college, my roommates liked whiskey. Like that was their whiskey and beer. And I didn't prefer whiskey and didn't prefer beer. I was Smirnoff Ice was my and vodka was my thing.
That's college, right?
Which is weird.
But I would say Bacardi Green Apple was my go-to in college.
Yeah.
And when
That's
we
some
got
good
out of college, it was like, okay, I kind of want to grow into whiskey, but I didn't really like the bourbon. Like I didn't like, it was flavored stuff. So it was Red Stag, their black cherry, which was foolproof at the time. And I was like, I don't like that flavored sweet stuff. And so I saw Johnny Walker and I was like, I kind of want to try and get into Johnny Walker. It's more manly, more earthy, more country, like campfire kind of feel. And then that went into single malt Scotch. Like that really dove into like how smoky, how earthy, how peaty can I get and still love it. And I don't know that I found one yet that is a turnoff.
And we've gone some hardcore
Yeah,
ones.
we've gone with some really hardcore ones.
So you and Ryan have a lot to talk about then.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay.
Yes, he's
I didn't know
in
that. That's
pursuit
awesome.
of the craziest thing as well. But what's funny is it doesn't take long. Once that ball starts kind of rolling, it really doesn't take long for you to kind of get to that point where you're chasing after like the strongest. Because like I said, I hated it. And I went from this to Johnny Walker Black, double black. And then it was like the next thing you know, then the next thing you know, and then now I'm chasing it as well. Like we've tried Cragabus and we've tried the craziest ones we can Octomore, like the craziest ones and it's like it's never enough. You know what I mean? The pursuit of like the staunchiest Scotch out there, you know.
So
The most likable staunchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing that pops into mind is, so had somebody brought you like the best Scotch and that was your first Scotch, do you think that would have made it so you like instantly liked Scotch, or is it something that is more acquired?
I mean, just to go back to what we were saying. So Nick poured me the 16-year Lagavulin, which anybody that knows Scotch knows that that's like one of the best bottles. Right. And it's not cheap. Like it's pretty expensive. It's famed. It's legendary. It's gifted to people at graduations. It's gifted to people at retirements. Like this is a bottle that, like, you know, it's even more flavorful. But I would put it up there with Johnny Walker Blue, which is a very expensive bottle, also given at retirements and whatnot. But it's up there. So like basically he was giving me like one of the best scotches you could get, and I hated it. Like that's what was funny. Like when I was like, I think I like poured it in your glass. I was like, I can't drink this. I mean, can you imagine like the equivalent would probably be kind of like pouring E.H. Taylor, like a good E.H. Taylor in somebody else's glass going, nah, not for me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And even like people that aren't super into bourbon yet know enough about bourbon to be like, well, you kind of bear through that. You know what I mean? You don't pour that down the drain, you know?
Yeah.
And I did basically. It was like the equivalent of me pouring down E.H. Taylor down there because it was too hot, you know what I mean? Or whatever, because E.H. Taylor is kind of bread, you know, it's got some breadth. You think that's a pretty good, like a Lagavulin 16 to like a good E.H. Taylor, like a good bottle. Probably pretty similar.
So it's interesting that in thinking about it now, because Chris and I, we are our go-to scotches, like our favorite scotches, have always had a history of being against each other. Yeah. And those that like Lagavulin don't understand those that like Lefroy, and there's some kind of rival between the two. So I wonder if, had I given you Lefroy to begin with, would you be on my side of Lagavulin now?
I don't know. That's a good question, because that is the thing. I like Lefroy way better than Lagavulin, and he likes it. And the one's more barbecuey, which I actually don't like barbecue for the most part. Like I do, but not as much as like Nick does. But I like Lefroy, which is more barbecue. And then the campfire, which Nick likes more barbecue, probably less campfire. Like this, like English to blends and everything else. But He likes Lagavulin. So it's like weird. But if you were to give me the option between Lafroig 10 and Lagavulin 16, I'm taking Lafroig 10 every day, all day. I still think that's the best Scotch you can get, period, for the price and availability and everything else wrapped up into it.
It's
So
good.
good,
It's
so
good, but
And Ryan's going to listen to this and be like, yes, preach it.
I don't have very many on my Lagavulin side.
No, it is good.
I don't know.
Lagavulin
Yeah.
is good, but
It's
Lafroig
very potent.
is something
It
special.
is. When you were like, Micah, I don't like Scotch, haven't really gotten to Scotch. Lagavulin should not be your first one.
yeah, that's more
What
the
region
wood
is
and
so?
the
I literally
fireplace.
don't know
So
anything about it.
all the ones that we're talking about here with the like Lagavulin and Lafroig and all that, that's all Isla.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
Isla's-
super smoky.
Which is
Yes.
the
Okay.
super smoky, super peaty.
Which
Drink
that's
in
an
an
island,
ashtray.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, I have a
An
story
isle.
about that.
Yeah.
So my buddy, his name's Paul Sutherland. He's from Scotland. He's a coworker. He actually told me while I was over there on work trip one time that the reason why they started using peat to smoke was because it's so windy in what was it called again?
Isla.
Isla.
Mhm.
That like the trees all blew down and they don't grow back up.
Really?
So they don't have wood. So but they do have tons of peat. And so that's what they use to smoke.
I always assumed it was because it was traditional for them to heat their homes with peat, not.
Which is also because they don't have
It could
wood.
be the same thing. Yeah.
I just never thought about
Well,
that.
and they build their homes out of stone and like thatch roof, which is like a hay roof. They don't even use wood, like in Ireland or Scotland, that whole area with the islands and everything else.
it's that windy? That's crazy.
But when you think about it, there's not a lot of trees. When you look at pictures and stuff
Yeah.
of that area,
It's rocky, it's
yeah.
mountains, but
grass
it's
and stuff, but no like
Yeah.
like forest.
I mean, all of the white people in Scotland are pasty white. I mean, there's like the sun doesn't come out.
Doesn't
even that
come
much.
out.
Yeah. When the sun comes out, and this is no joke, when the sun comes out, all of the office buildings in Glasgow and Edinburgh are empty out, and everybody's out at the bar outside
Trying to get something.
soaking up the sun. Yeah, that's what they do. So
a
anyway.
bunch of vampires walking around.
yeah.
but they want the sun. It's the opposite.
But one thing I'll tell you, they are that a tough ass people. I'm not, no joke. Yeah, they are super tough. So
Now, one counter to what we're talking about, though, with all of that is my cousin Chris, that I've talked about a few different times. He really wants to be a whiskey guy, and he just can't do it. Like he just the bite of whiskey and stuff just is not there, and he just can't do it. But he wants to be, and so he's always trying to be, and he's always trying different ones to try to find the one that's gonna flip him. But we were out to eat one time, and I ordered a Lore.
Lafroig
Yeah,
Lord,
Lafroig
yeah.
Lord.
Lord. It's a good bottle.
Which is a great bottle, and I got it for me, but I let him try it. And because Scotch isn't very bitey, they're normally 80 proof. They normally don't have a lot of bite to them. He really enjoyed it because he wasn't comparing it to other alcohols. He was really comparing it to like, oh, this is a good barbecue. This is a good, that kind of thing. And so because of that, he kind of liked that flavor profile and stuff because it didn't bite him the way that like bourbons and all that does. And so because of that, it ended up being a pretty good bottle for him because it didn't have the alcohol bite. It has a flavor bite. It has a big, bold flavor, but it doesn't.
Your brain
doesn't do the same thing.
It's so
Yeah.
concerned with that it doesn't get the other. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's another plus for Lafroig over Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Were you guys eating anything with it?
We were at Opa's, so we were up in Delaware at Opa's, and I believe it was towards the end of our meal, so we'd eaten, so it probably had some sort of a pasta or something like that. We did order the pita and some stuff, but it was the end, so it would have been probably a pasta of some sort. Usually a spicier pasta, I think, is normally what he goes for. So
I was gonna say for people that don't know, after that's where Scotch really shines, in my opinion, is after a big meal. It's like anything else. Anything that's super heavy, usually following a meal is where it's at. Like a strong cigar or pipe, or whatever. Those things are always better after a meal. They're super like satiating. Whereas like before, maybe not so much. You know what I mean? Especially like 4:00 in the afternoon. Maybe that's not time for Scotch for a lot of people. 7:00, 7:30 at night after a meal, that might be a better time for Scotch.
right, makes sense.
So the idea of the blended Scotch, like Johnny Walker, pulls from all of their distilleries to then blend a bunch of single malts together to form a blended Scotch.
Right.
They make their own, right? So like it's their own distillery,
Yes.
their own brand, I should say. So it's not like Johnny Walker pulling from their stuff. So they have, the Glenfiddich.
Yep.
There was one,
Glenfiddich.
and then
Belvini.
so they own those two at least. Do you know, are they pulling from those distilleries?
Most likely.
Okay.
The Monkey Shoulder, I don't believe, has its own distillery. So it's just a blend of other scotches. Since they own those, I'm sure those are in here. And they're both Speyside. So
Right. Very light, very fruity.
Yeah.
I'd say watery, but not like iced down watery kind of bit, but like
just thinner. It's
thinner.
not,
Yeah.
it's not as,
Yeah.
it's fruitier. It's kind of light in flavor. It doesn't have that boldness that we're talking about with like the Isla stuff of the big peat and the big smoke. Speysides tend to be fruity, creamy, flowery. I don't know, but yeah,
Friendly. They're shaking you with both hands.
yeah.
I feel like I don't know why I just thought about this. Speysides, if you're a bourbon drinker, not a Scotch, and trying to figure out what do you mean fruity, light, watery, like I don't even know what to compare that to. This is like a wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
Like Speysides are almost like wheated bourbons where they're very creamy, they're easy to drink. Your Islas are going to be your rye. They are full, bold, spicy. They're in your face.
Those are good comparisons.
Yeah, this is like a creamy wheated whiskey of some kind. Wheated bourbon, wheated rye. Speysides are very easy for that.
Yep. It's like I said, they're giving you a handshake with both hands.
Yeah.
It's you ever had that where somebody you get that, and then someone puts their hand on top and they kind of shake it a little bit. And
Yeah.
They almost bring you
Double
closer
shake,
for
yeah.
it.
It's like a very like a hug but a handshake kind of a deal. You're like, I feel very welcomed.
Yeah.
That is Speysides.
I feel like it's a
They
very
want to bring you in.
that's a politician thing. I feel like
Yeah.
the double-sided hand.
It's called
that's-
glad handing. Yeah, that's the glad hand.
The
Speyside glad hand.
welcoming or whatever, I feel very like that's a really good way because like for me, if I'm shaking your hand, where it's a one-handed deal, but if I'm like thanking you for something, it becomes a two-hander. Like I add the second hand as like an extra, like this is meaningful
to
like
reinforce the moment.
This is a reinforced like this is you did something special for me and I appreciate it. Like that's what the second hand means.
The natural progression is like anything more than that is like the whole when you bring it close, the hand close to you, and then you put the hug.
Right. Yeah.
With the one arm,
going for the hug.
The one arm with the hug, but the other one's still kind of clasped.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate.
Yeah.
You don't get a two-handed hug unless you're like over the moon about somebody.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's either that or for some reason, little old ladies at church. Those are the other people I do two hands for pretty much every time.
Which is that's fine.
You know, for something about women that I will do that as well, where like I either ever, if I give a handshake to a woman, I do it with like just my fingers.
Yeah, like a light. Yeah.
like they're a princess or something. And then a lot of times I will come in with the other hand though a little bit and kind of because they're so like small and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Not that I'm a huge
And you
guy,
almost hunch
but,
over.
you kind of hunch and you're kind of doing a two-handed kind of like you're holding on to something tiny that's about to get away, you know.
Yeah. And by get away, you mean die.
Right? Is this like a fish that's going to squirm away?
Watch the steps, Granny.
Please
With the guy,
make
I'm
it out
looking
of
in your
here.
eyes. We're clasping. It's like a good solid handshake.
Yeah, you know
kinda
that's
thing.
another thing is with the women, I kind of look more at the hands.
Yeah.
With the man though, you're always looking eye to eye. You don't get a handshake with eye to eye contact. It's weird.
Well, it's awkward if you don't have
But
eye
with
to eye.
like with a female, a lot of times it's I want to look at the hands, and then I it's kind of like a hybrid type of a eye hand eye contact thing.
Yeah.
Maybe because you don't want to be too like
Too forward.
yeah. Even with 85-year-old grandma.
I mean, I also think that with dudes, and they do the hand over the hand thing, and then they pull you in. It can also be aggressive.
It can be.
it can be. It can be.
That's why I'm side eyeing you at this point.
Right.
You don't pull me in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, but I'm short. I'm 5'6". Somebody I don't care. Pulls me in. It's like a show of force or something.
You're trying to alpha it.
It only goes one of two ways. It's either like this was the best, or this is like that. You know what I mean? Like it's
There's
it's
no
ever
middle
like,
ground.
This was the best ever. Like this was warranted, or aggressive.
Yeah.
Aggressive. What are you trying? Who are you trying to prove?
Exactly.
Who are you trying to show off to? Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you guys fans of Parks and Rec? The
Yes.
TV
I never
show?
really
Oh my
watched it
gosh.
much. I never
So-
really.
Hilarious.
Everyone has compared me to Ron Swanson. And hearing you guys talk about handshakes, there's a a line that he says that I gave the man 2 handshakes. Is that not enough? Like, of like, congratulations or thank yous. Like, I shook the man's hand twice. I relate to that very well. Like, I shook his hand twice. Like,
That is a
we're
lot.
not
Yeah.
And you kind
We're
of
not
look
clear.
like him too.
We're not clear on that one. We love Scotch.
He didn't save my life. I mean,
Right.
this is all
I
you
shook his
get.
hand twice. Is that not
You
enough?
do have a Ron Swanson quality, that's for sure. I think it might be the beard.
It might be the beard.
He
Yeah.
also
that's
really likes smoked meats.
Yes, and smoked meats.
And his favorite drink of choice is Lagavulin.
Yep.
And your wife is a brunette.
And the show was based in
Indiana.
Oh, it was? I didn't know that. I thought it was like Wyoming.
No, Pawnee, Indiana.
Pawnee.
I never really watched the show much.
Pawnee. Yeah, man, it's been a long time since I've watched it.
Great
but man,
show. I can relate
amazing.
to him very well. But going back to the old person handshake, am I the only one that misses having old people candy given to them? Like from
Dude,
the pocket?
I'm slowly becoming the guy who gives that candy.
You are?
Yes, which is
What
like
do you hand out? What do you give?
Werther's, the Werther caramels, man. I always have a few in my pocket, or the Altoids mints,
Oh, yes.
which actually are harder to give out.
Yeah.
But I will offer those. People don't always take them.
Yeah. If you strategically offer
It's
them,
the
it
curious
means
mint,
that
you know. And then
they
you
have
make
bad
it, and
breath.
then they're like, I don't know, and then you pop the tin and say it's the curious mint. People are going to go for that. It's on the
when
tin.
you become an ad.
Yeah. When you become a dad, you start doing things like that.
yeah.
It was always Werther's, so the men would hand out Werther's, and the old ladies would always hand out the strawberry ones that had like the
Oh,
strawberry
yeah,
gel
yeah.
inside.
Looks like a strawberry in the wrapping. Yeah.
Those, yeah. And then cream savers.
So you do this at like church? Is that what I said?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and
He
here's
does
the
it to the random people inside
Just-
the
just
room.
all the time, yeah.
on the sidewalk.
Just goes up to people.
Here's
You
what
look
I've
like
learned
you
about
do, Werther.
why the old people do that. Because they enjoy it themselves, and they can enjoy it themselves. They're at this point where they're like, I get to do this. But then if you ever pop the candy in front of people, you feel a little bit self-conscious about like, should I be sharing this? Like, hope you brought enough for everybody, right? So if you at least give one away, you're like sharing, and they're kind of in on the secret with you. You know what I mean? If you've never given somebody, like, especially in a group of like, say 4, 5, 6 people, you just pick one person to give a candy, like offer, like, hey, you want this? And they take it. It's like you guys shared something, and everybody else kind of looks like jealous. It totally happens. Like, if you ever been around somebody and they got a Werther and you didn't, deep down you're like, well, I didn't get one. But you're not going to say like, can I have one? You know, because that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's kind of a cool feeling.
I think
So,
I'm going to start doing that,
You
but
just
with like
pick one
bottles of
person.
whiskey.
yeah, pick one person and offer to give them like a hard candy, and you're like, we shared something. Also, like, it's good to be the king. You know what I mean? Like, I have these and you don't.
Yeah.
And then those people, they'll go out and get, oh man, maybe I should have some Werthers. Maybe I should have a tin of Altoids, you know?
Mhm.
I'm telling
And
you,
that's
it's the
how
thing to do.
community is built.
Yeah.
It's true.
One Altoid at a time.
I think I'm going to start carrying around airplane bottles of whiskey for that.
I mean,
I see a
great
dog
idea.
like here, like sneak it to him, like here you go.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't know
share.
what-
Sip.
They're gonna get a different reputation, I think.
You're gonna see Nick
But the
looking
adults
around,
are left out in
taking a
this.
shot.
All the kids get the candy. The adults, what do they get? You know, I got to include
Nick's
them.
gonna be in church, like, and then he took the bread, and Nick's gonna be like, "You want one of these?"
Got the
And
wine.
then they just like pass it
People are
down
like,
the road.
"What? We're having communion."
Yeah.
This is made out of the same thing as bread. It's fine.
Yeah, I like to carry them around.
What you should do sometime is to throw a wrench into things at church when you're handing out the candies out of the tin. Is like pull out a different tin. It's got like joints in it. Oh, wrong one, and you put it back in your pocket. They could be fake,
Yeah,
you know.
whoops. That's the
to
comment.
see what
Candy-
people run.
candy cigarettes.
Yeah, candy cigarettes.
This is for later.
Mixed pills.
Yeah.
You just hand the tin. They open it up. They look at it like, "Oh wait, hold on," and then you grab it back, and then you give them the other one. That one.
That's the one I meant.
That's not a bad idea.
Pills.
They're all candy, and you just start like picking out different ones and eating them like real quick, looking around. People are like, "What the? What's happening right now?" You just took 14 different pills.
I think this is why we're not allowed to go to the same church. But yeah, all in all, I mean, what do you think of this bottle? Would you buy this bottle for yourself? Not a big
Yes.
Scotch guy. The first time having it, would you go back for it?
I do not have to think about that one. I would.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's, I mean, here's the thing. If I'm going to get into tasting or trying or buying other bottles of Scotch, this is a good like entry point for me. And also I can always use it as a mixer. right?
Right.
So that
And you could give it to people if somebody comes over. Hey, I want a Scotch. Perfect.
exactly.
And it's $30.
You got one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a hard one to turn down for the price.
Right.
Like that's a good price tag.
What do you think
Agreed.
about the tobacco before we sign off on this?
I
one?
really like this tobacco. I'm really enjoying this smoke. When you said it was a hybrid of English or aromatic, anytime I hear aromatic, I'm a little bit skeptical.
Leery,
already.
yeah.
Like, but this is really good. And what is the room note like for you two not smoking? Is it a pretty good room note? Is it kind of tobacco-y?
So I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder or whatever, but
you may have something different than me because I'm right by the fan.
it could be. So here's my thing. I enjoy smoking a pipe cigar every once in a while. I don't do it often, right? But what I enjoy even more is the secondhand smoke. I actually do enjoy smelling.
That's just like
I'm
Nick.
the same here. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm okay with
So
that.
do you get much off of this?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's. I love the smell of almost every smoke pipe.
Okay.
Some are really rank,
Yeah, some
but
are
they're-
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
but this one is not. And also, I can't remember a time that I was like, "Oh man, that smells really bad" from a pipe. So
Almost every pipe tobacco, even the
Yeah.
bad ones, smell good.
yeah,
And this one
So-
for me is very faint. Like smelling. Did you get a chance to smell just the tin by itself?
Steve's
Steve
got
might
it.
have it somewhere. Yeah. The smell of that is nothing like what it smells for the.
I think
like
it's
room
one of
note.
the smooth. It's not
Oh,
quite
man,
aromatic,
that's
but
great.
it's the closest thing to an aromatic I'd ever want to smoke.
Yeah.
Because it is sweet.
Yep.
It's got a lot of good flavor. It's very smooth for having Cavendish in it.
Yeah.
There's no
It's
bite
very
to
smooth. When I was packing, I was like, this is a really moist.
it. Wet.
It's a really wet
You
tobacco.
can even hear it crackle when you
Yeah.
smoke it.
And so I was a little concerned with that too. That I was like, it's not going to stay lit, and it's not staying lit the best for me.
You have to
but-
keep relying, but when you light it, it
But
stays lit
it's
for a while
going
as
good,
long as
yeah.
you keep puffing on it.
Exactly. So yeah, I would smoke this again. It's a very good one, and I think it's going okay with Monkey Shoulder too.
Yep. I think it's adding
they're
just a little
both
bit.
pretty light, and so they go together.
It's not overly English, but it's adding a little bit. You know, what it reminds me of Boswell's aromatics, where they're kind of like not super aromatic because you still enjoy smoking them, but they are aromatic in the sense of like they smell a little bit better. They have a little bit more flavor to them. They're smooth because it's a very cool smoke.
It is, and when you read it, you said it had Latakia and Perique
Yeah,
in it, and I was like, but this is smoking much lighter than that, than I would imagine it to.
light rum punch, and it's got the Turkish and the I mean, so I think it's good. I think it's probably the closest thing to an aromatic I'd want to smoke at this point, and I still enjoy it. I do think it's going well with the Scotch.
I feel like the room note is faint enough that you guys could smoke it around like the wives and they wouldn't care.
It's a very friendly kind of even the smoke. It's an all day blend. You could smoke this all the time.
You could absolutely.
So what's interesting is the smell of the tobacco, like without you guys smoking it, just the smell of the tin is like an offset wood smoker, like intense log smoker. The room note is like a Traeger, like like a pellet smoker. It's there, but it's faint. Like it's not, the intensity level is like at a 1 or a 2 kind of thing, which some people love. Like some people are like, that's the most amount of smoke I want to have. I want to have intense smoke. So I feel like this is a good.
It's friendly, just
Yeah.
like the Scotch.
Yep. I
Well,
feel like it's
good.
great.
You nailed it. Good job.
Nailed
Good
it.
job.
Didn't even do it on purpose and still nailed it.
See if you can nail the next one. No pressure.
Stay tuned. We'll have Micah again.
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Till next time. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.